The ADCS guidance to the G5 log planner about how to think about phases 3, 4, and 5 so that she can be equipped to engage with the other G5 planners. So current ops and current plans are working phase 3 decisive action. It's really how are we going to support and seize Bravo, and they're going to just handle that.
It makes more sense.
Food plans is concerned about, first of all, what are the branches and sequels that come out of Bravo, but before we get into transition. That could be move to Objective Charlie, could be respond to contingencies in Nagorno-Karabakh, could be deal with Russians coming across the border into Georgia through South Ossetia. There could be cross-border operations we're going to support. There could be humanitarian assistance issues that we have to address in a significant way, or more. So all of these things are branches and sequels that we should at least have a sustainment concept for in case those get activated. Before we get to phase 5, which is long-term theater engagement or a theater end state, which probably happens at least 2 years after this fight. Let me jump ahead to phase 5 and work backwards. So we have to know what the theater end state is going to be, what kind of force structure is going to be in place in support of that, what kind of missions are they going to perform, and then what is the sustainment support required to U.S. and multinational forces, any host nation forces that need to be reconstituted. Are we just advising and assisting, or are we giving direct support? That's going to be a function of how badly they got shot up during the gunfight. And then finally, is there any infrastructure support required to support the economic line of operations? A specific subset of that is what kind of equipment posture does the theater have? Are we going to make a DA level decision to establish pre-po? If so, who would be the donor unit? Probably from the division. And then what kind of posture will we have to be in order to give them that equipment? How are we going to activate contracting in order to and repair in order to establish that pre-po? I want to minimize the impact on the division so we can send our boys home since they just won the war. Or is there going to be a theater provided equipment set which is short of pre-po but is really just to facilitate transfer of authority? And again, who's the donor equipment, to what standard, what's the OCS package to do that, and I want to minimize the impact on the division. So whatever the end state is, there's probably the main effort of the G5 plans is going to be come up with some different COAs that will support stability operations in phase 4 so that we can bridge from decisive operations to long-term engagement and different ways that this stability might be achieved with heavy forces on the border or light forces all over the place with a mobile reserve, or a emphasis on host nation forces with U.S. advise and assess. So at least 3 different COAs that be considered. Each one of those has a sustainment implication in how we will support that, and then no matter which one of those transition or those stability plans are chosen, there's a transition from the end state of phase 3, plus or minus all of these contingencies, a transition plan that allows us to relocate and reconstitute and reestablish a new task organization to include redeployment of some forces. So we've got the log planner now, and G5 has to be concerned about which of these in priority and how to support it, what kind of transition posture to whatever COA is chosen, the sustainment implications of these COAs, plus the redeployment of the division no matter what, and then some kind of impact on the long-term end state of the theater that we would certainly be a part of, not a decider, but a participant, and we want to protect the division's interests and get in front of that so we know what our requirements are. So we're looking at, I think of this as a tactical, operational, and strategic level, certainly theater strategic level planning, that we would be a member of all of those different planning teams, sorting out the implications. Now, the G5 will come in with priorities of which time frame and which missions and whatnot. This starts giving us some estimates of how to respond and to be prepared for those initial planning conferences. The end.